They're comfortable with the concept map. We've used it before. We've used it to map out the characters in other books that we've done. It helps them to organize and collect their information. When they have a discussion or they work further on the book, they'll have that right at hand. And it also kind of directs them on how they should be thinking as they're reading. As they're reading, they should be looking at their character. They should be thinking about the characteristics that we've learned about the different elements of character. I think it's a tool that they know they'll be able to use throughout the book. So they'll be able to see at the beginning, what did I learn about this character? And as it went on, what more things will I learn about them? The literacy strategy is really a planning tool for whatever we're going to do next. In this case, it was the threaded discussion. So I'm always thinking about a way to differentiate the product, differentiate how I get out of them what they're learning. And technology is where it's at right now. We're on computers, they're on computers. It's their mode of discussing, it's their mode of thinking. So I think it's really important that as teachers we get that in the classroom.
You're going to read a story over this week. We're going to read a story called The 100 Dresses. And yeah, you read this last year. It's a really interesting story mostly about 3 girls. And it deals with how the girls are very different, but also very much alike. I chose this book because it's a great, great book for character. And you'll be able to really see these 8 elements of character in these girls. What we're going to do is we're going to all read the very first chapter of the book, and while you're reading it, you're going to be assigned a character. You and a couple other people in the class are going to be assigned a character to keep watch of over the whole book. And then we're going to have a threaded discussion in those small groups now about that character that you've been assigned. One of the tools, our literacy strategies from our toolbox up there, that I thought would be a good tool to use to keep track of your character would be a concept map. You guys like doing those. They're pretty easy to do, and they help you to organize them. So I'm going to pass out a paper right now. We're going to get that started. So you put your character's name here, and then off from it, what do you think I'm going to ask you to put? Jacob?
The 8 elements of the character.
Very good. That's exactly what you're going to do. So draw 8 little arms off there and little circles and write physical description. Okay, write them all in there. Leave lots of room. Nice. As you're reading it, let's say you're Maddie. Let's say you're Maddie and you learn a little bit about her background. You're going to add that right in. Or her physical description, or her relationships. Okay? It's only the first chapter. You probably won't get everything on there, something for everything. You're going to keep these concept maps throughout the whole reading of the book. Okay? What we're going to be working today on is after you read the first chapter, and everybody's done, we're going to come together for a threaded discussion. And you're going to be meeting in small groups, and we're going to do the threaded discussion about you're in your small group, and only the people, for example, who are concentrating on Wanda are going to talk about Wanda. So as you're reading, think about it. And the forum for our threaded discussion is to explain your character. Okay? So that's what you're going to be working on in threaded discussion. You get it?
Yep.
I should see you writing on these concept maps so you have something ready when you do your threaded discussion. Okay? Okay, get started.
I thought what would be better is one of those because like one of these pages on this says Wanda didn't sit there because he's all rough and rowdy.
And did you think of something you could infer from that?
But she's very cautious.
Okay. What I love about what you just said is that is a tool to help you to understand what you're reading. And you're already kind of putting it in your head and using it in your head. That's awesome. And I thought about using that too, but I thought we've done those a lot. So let's try a different tool. But if that's something you're more comfortable with, when we read something else, use it. And that's what I want you to do, is to become more independent with these tools that we're working on. That's awesome, Mallory. Good for you. Who's Maddie's closest friend? Okay, so you read the first chapter, and you're just getting introduced to those characters. There's a little bit on some, there's more on others, and you're going to get to know some more. What you're going to do right now is have a threaded discussion about your character. How do you do a threaded discussion? Mal?
We do it and we talk about some stuff that we did in the classroom.
Okay, how do we talk about it?
We type it.
We type it. Okay, where do we go to talk about it?
Storybookipedia.
Okay, what is that called when we go into one spot and talk about one specific thing? What's that called? Does anybody know? You remember?
Post discussion? Discussion forum.
Discussion forum, that's right. We go into a discussion forum. You go into a forum and you post different things about whatever your topic is. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Now?
The reason why we do this is because we thought it would be really fun and a different way for us to learn how to talk to each other besides just write forward. Instead with our voices, it's pretty much with our fingers.
Yeah. We're talking about what we're learning, right? And we're organizing what we're learning, and it's in a fun, different kind of way, right? Instead of on pencil and paper or face-to-face. So you're going to go into your discussion forum, and you're going to discuss your character. There are some rules while you're in there. Can you talk about what you did this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Do you say to your neighbor or the other person in your group, come on, talk? No, we don't do that kind of stuff. And you don't do like BRB or LOL, that kind of stuff. This is a discussion. It's not a chat.
So we can't do IDK?
No, can't do that either. No. We've done that before. We've played with it and tried that. But in this discussion forum, we're talking about our learning. And we're talking about what we just read and what we learned about our character. Okay?
It never does.
Post your last post and then step back from the keyboard. Sit back from the keyboard. You guys did an awesome, awesome job with this. What I noticed that was really great is that you stuck to the topic and you talked about your character, even if there was only a little bit to it. You started to bring out some more things. As you were having that discussion, you started, oh yeah, we know this about her, and yes, we can infer that about her because of this. And Jacob said, I learned that Maddie's character is very sneaky. Did it say right out that she was sneaky? You inferred that, Jacob. Excellent. Very nice. Then Morgan wrote, she is not that good of a friend to Wanda. Does it say that right out?
No.
You're inferring that.
She's not that good of a friend.
You brought out the important parts in what you read so far. You've inferred different things about your character, so you're taking what you're learning and you're putting it in there.
Really, inferencing is one of the most difficult things for the children to do when they're reading. And this, I think, really helps them to organize it. I love the one time when Mallory said, you know, we should be doing an inference wheel, and I'm thinking, kind of, you could tell that she had that planning in her head as she was reading, and she was just talking about the inferencing that she was doing, that it's becoming independent to them. It's helping them to frame the way they're thinking. And it just showed throughout everything they were doing. Gone through a good amount of time to really learn those strategies, and now it's time to move on. Okay, what do you think would be the best strategy to use in order to organize this information?